Okay, next step is to drill the sides for the cross pin to hold the wedge in. And to do that, I've traced the back block here and the plain iron here onto a piece of paper. So then I could mark the cross pin location here. This was just calculated from my wedge size, which is about maybe, I'm probably going to use another section of this stock for the wedge, so I'll just cut a chunk off. This was 12-13 millimeters thick, so I measured off here, if you can see, but this distance here, parallel or perpendicular to the blade here, is 9 millimeters, so that I can take a wedge here shape and it'll fit nicely. The precise location of this was just guessed by eye. I just thought like that looked like a good position to put the pin. I'm not sure if that's a good place or a bad place, but we'll see what happens. But this is located nearly in the middle of the blade, just a bit towards the mouth than the middle of the blade. So I thought that would provide even pressure, but as I said, I don't know what I'm doing, so yeah. Anyway, mark the point here. We got your side here, and what you want to do is you want to mark this onto here. So line up the edges. Hang on, get a pair of scissors. Okay, so to cut that out, just to make lining it up a bit easier. So basically you want to line up this here. Make sure you get the orientation right. Probably mark it in the wrong place otherwise. So mark it up along here, line up to the edge, and I'm just using a pin vise with a 2mm drill stuck in it, my awl. I don't actually have an awl, so this is it. And make a mark. Oh, this stuff's pretty hard. Yeah, anyway, I have a mark. There we go. That's my mark. So we're just going to drill through here. Make sure you want to line up the two sides when you drill through, and make sure it's parallel, or rather perpendicular to the surface, so you get a nice straight rod. So I've drilled the hole here, and it's come through the other side. And what I've done here is I've clamped the sides to the center block. This back end here is all straight and flush, because that's where I referenced these holes to drill from. And I've just clamped them down to tighten this block down here. I want to make sure this is all flush, flat. It's just to make truing up the sole a bit easier when the time comes. And what you want to do with this step is you want to get your blade and set it in gently, and you want it so that it will just hit the front block, so that it doesn't actually protrude from the sole yet, because when you finish up the plane, true up the sole, and you'll be opening up the mouth later with a file, so you don't want it to come out yet, otherwise you'll have a huge mouth in the end, and you don't want that. So basically you just want to set it in and have it so that the tip of your blade, just hits the front block, or maybe about a couple of millimeters off, maybe 1 millimeter off from the bottom of the sole. So it gives you some room to play with. After you've done that, you just want to clamp this down, and then you'll drill some dowels or holes to put some referencing pins into here, so that when you glue this up, it doesn't all like flop around and slide everywhere. So the next job is to spread the glue and glue this up. As you can see from when I drilled these registry pins here, I drew the shape of the mouth and the toe, so I can tell where to put the glue basically. So don't spread glue in here. So basically here I'm using a Type Bond, normal yellow glue. So glue up. Yeah, this is it, glued up. I didn't use the dowels in the end because I found out that they didn't actually fit the holes. So I kind of hurried and tried to get this glued up as best as I could without the dowels, and that's the explanation for this mess. So when you do it, try to test these dowel pins before you glue everything up. Okay, so well, this is my, skipped a few steps, and this is my finished plane. Well, not finished, but it's, you know, roughly shaped. This is my wedge. I made this. You just make some, you know, kind of wedge. I'll shape this a bit more later, but and this is the plane. You can see it's pinned the cross dowel here. So sits bevel down in there, wedge goes on there, and yeah, it works pretty well. I trued up the sole on sandpaper. Don't know if you can see, but this when I was planing this stuff, this chipped out pretty bad with the hand plane, so I resorted to a scraper. But yeah, it's now flat, and these are the shavings it's produced. This is some spruce, a little bit thick. This is a kind of plane for taking away a lot of material, truing up stuff. This is some curly maple, and this is some stuff called calamantan ebony. This stuff I'll be using for my guitar project. You can see it's pretty fine. It's pretty good. This is from the Japanese plane, same blade, without sharpening. My plane was actually done after I used the Japanese plane, so the blade should have been a bit duller, but yeah. This is a bit chunkier, some ebony. This is the maple, it's quite thick, and the spruce. You know, so it works pretty well. The Japanese plane works okay, but I just prefer pushing, so I made this little beast, and this is how it goes together. So first you want to set it on a flat surface. Get the blade, snap in there, get the wedge in, tap it in, and there you have it, a plane.